Hi everyone, welcome to Leisrealtalk. All right, it's Thursday night, Friday morning. I saw some of you were wondering if I was able to replace my smoke detector, the battery for the smoke detector. The answer is no. What I did is I pulled out the battery, so it's not beeping. I have yet to figure out. I have yet to replace it, but it took me a while to pull it out. But anyways, okay, let's talk about something that's really fun because we never thought that Xi Jinping has a British relative. Is that something to talk about? So before we get to the question, will Xi Jinping's British nephew-in-law be Elon Musk in China's EV industry? Let's first talk about who he is and what businesses he has been involved in. And this started, how it all started is a few days ago, the Center for European Policy Analysis, or CEPA, which is a Washington-based think tank, published a report stating that the European Commission President von der Leyen and the European Council President Charles Michel, I think it's a Michael, will hold a China-EU summit in Beijing next month with Xi Jinping. And one of the tough topics will be unfair subsidies for Chinese EV cars in the European market. Now, the report dropped a bombshell that Xi Jinping's family is directly involved in China's EV industry. And a key figure is his nephew-in-law, nephew-in-law, and his name is Daniel Foa. His Chinese name is Fu Daniel. It's just such a such a funny name. Daniel is translated as Daniel, which in Chinese means means cool, like really cool. Fu Daniel, what a name. Anyways, he's a British man who grew up in Wimbledon, England, and is married to Xi Jinping's niece, Wu Yaning. British media actually reported back in 2012. Here's the EU, the CEPA report, right? CEPA report. You can read it. It's quite long, and this was I think a Daily Mail. It was Daily Mail from 2012, and here's a picture of. Oh, sorry. Where did it go? Here we go. Here's a picture of Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Foa. So who is he? Well, they call him a buccaneering British businessman married into the most powerful family in China. But with unruly hair and scruffy beard, he hardly looked like the best connected foreigner in China. That's what the Daily Mail said. Now, Daniel Foa began working for multinational companies, including IBM in Shanghai, after he graduated from I think it's Portsmouth College. When he was 20, he went to China when he was 23. And he went to Shanghai, where he frequented bars, nightclubs, and theme parties organized for the expatriates, right? Expats. And he was also the captain of a local soccer team. But how he met Xi Jinping's niece is unknown to the outsiders. And in 2005, they moved to Beijing and to work for, I think, a Canadian company called Nortel. Now, she's niece news. I'm thinking Daniel. So, where was? Oh, I forgot. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. So here's the picture of the couple in 2018. So her name, she has an English name. Her name was called Hui Ning. That's her English name. And she's the daughter of Xi Jinping's younger sister, Qi An'an, who is a resident of Australia. And Ning graduated from University College London, UCL, in 2001 with a bachelor's degree in information management. And she founded the UCL Club of Beijing in 2005. And the club now has, or at the time, this this piece, as of August 28th, 2018, the club had 3,000 members. And the school says on its website that China has 7,000 UCL alumni, and Chinese students made up of 10% of UCL's students, and were the largest non-UK national group at the school. So back then, 2018, UCL awarded Mr. and Mrs. Foa an honorary fellowship in recognition of their outstanding contributions. By the way, Daniel Foa didn't attend UCL. His wife did. What else I can tell you about them? Well, the couple also worked for the Clinton Foundation, and it dated back as early as 2012. Where was that? Oh, here we go. Yeah. I think someone said that they started working for the Clinton Foundation in 2012. That's the time when Xi Jinping was, became the CCP's fifth leader. Now, after Xi Jinping came to power at the 18th National Congress in 2012, in order to carry out his anti-corruption campaign, it was reported in Chinese media that he hosted an extended family meeting and explicitly asked members of his family and relatives to withdraw from the business sector. And since then, his relatives, including his sisters and brother and the in-laws, have terminated their business activities, and there are people who documented that. I'm not going to go into details of that. But that doesn't mean the family has cut all ties to the business world. Being a Westerner, Daniel brings a unique advantage and can provide service to the family in a way that a Chinese in-law cannot. So now let's talk about Daniel Foa's business footprint. It's certainly impressive. It includes finance, healthcare, VR, AI, and now EV. I don't even know how I can memorize all these jargons. But anyways, he has brought an American EV company to China with the aim to compete with or even replace Elon Musk's Tesla. So now let's, I'm going to, for the for the rest of the presentation tonight, I'll first try to answer the question. This is a question I have for all of you guys. Because of his connection to Xi Jinping, should we be concerned with some of the businesses that he's involved in? That's question number one. Question number two is he trying to build a foreign EV brand to eventually replace Tesla in China? And will he be successful? So those are the two questions I want to focus on tonight. And so now let's first talk about how Mr. and Mrs. Foa started their business empire. I need to go back to my slides. Here we go. Yeah, we need to come back to this one. So Miss Wu, or Mrs. Foa, was the founder of a company called 51 Give. In Chinese, 我要 give means I want to give. It's an online giving platform working as a tool and processing service for charitable organizations in China and other parts of the world. And the company is no longer functioning, but someone was able to look at its, I think, the old information, and its partners were all big names, such as the World Bank, the International Finance Corporation, the United Nations Foundation, the Beijing Municipal Agricultural Development and Poverty Alleviation Foundation, the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, China's Postal Service, and the Hainan Provincial Rural Credit Union, so on and so forth. The company stopped operation, and its official Weibo account has been emptied of all content, with the last message posted on its Facebook page dated April 22nd, 2020. So you see, it says no content, and the logo, the 51 Give, is the company. It's called I Want to Give in Chinese. Now, this 51 Give is claimed to be China's leading low carbon microfinance consulting and service organization. It launched a person to person or P2P credit loan service platform. Now, when it comes to P2P platform, many bitter Chinese or angry Chinese still remember how they lost their money. And China had more than 10,000 various P2P platforms with out-of-control credit and fraud risks. The central government closed all P2P lending platforms by mid-November in 2020. So that explains why the 51 Give platform had no updates or had no content updates since April that year. So it's effectively closed. Now, at the end of 2015, state-controlled English paper, the Global Times, ran a piece on Daniel Foa. I have a picture of that. Here we go. And the title is, it says, Fu Daniel, which is his name. It says, a foreigner involved in low-carbon business in China. So the report celebrated Daniel as having been working diligently to help Chinese people with his grassroots innovations when it comes to like low carbon initiative or low carbon causes. It mentioned that Daniel owned two companies. One was the 51 Give company that I mentioned earlier. And this article said that this company operated under Beijing's Municipal Agriculture Development and Poverty Alleviation Foundation. And its main leading target was poor people in rural China. So you see, Daniel, Mr. and Mrs. Fua's first bucket of gold was obtained from Xi Jinping's Poverty Relief Initiative. The report also mentioned another company that he founded right before the 2008 Beijing Olympics, and it's called 51 SIM, S-I-M. Do I have a call? Here we go. And this company, the SIM stands for Sustainable Innovation Movement. And this company hosted a Youth Arts Week before the Olympics, where Taiwanese and Chinese super pop stars performed at the concert for free, promoting low carbon living. This company also partnered with a professional evaluation organization to create a carbon dioxide emission evaluation system. And this program was selected as a major program by the Clinton Global Initiative. Remember, the couple worked for the Clinton Foundation? Well, it's not surprising that their program was selected as a major program by the Clinton Global Initiative. And 51 SIM is also in the business of automated driving, simulation testing, and the IoT business, Internet of Things business. Now, he also has a third company, which is called Fair Klima Capital. Do I have a picture of that? Here we go. This company claims that its main business is to facilitate the transfer of intellectual property from developed countries to developing countries in the climate change technology area. To be blunt, its business model is transferring technology from Europe, United States, Japan, and other countries like Israel to China. By the way, the website that I accessed today only shows its logo and has no content today. But I think my friend was able to access it a day ago. So I don't know what happened during the past day. Maybe all this attention on Daniel Foa got the company a little concerned. Maybe it doesn't want the public know about its mission. Maybe that's why. But when I looked, when I Google this company, it just shows its logo. It does not show anything. Um, but this is actually only part of its business. In 2015, after the Development and the Reform Commission announced the construction of a low carbon pilot project in 5 provinces and 8 cities, Daniel's capital firm, this firm, quickly took over the project of building a low carbon city in Xi'an and participated in the planning and formulation of a low carbon development plan for Xi'an for the next, listen to this, for the next 40 years. And the project covered various areas such as power, energy, transportation, construction, and water management. Okay, now that's not it. Daniel Foa also got involved in a state-controlled industry, healthcare. So in 2015, there's a healthcare company called 精卫医疗集团. Here we go. This is the website. It disclosed. I try to translate it. I don't know if this company has an English name, but it tells me, the translation software tells me it's called Goldwell Healthcare Group. It's a limited Goldwell Healthcare Group Limited appointed Daniel as an independent non-executive director of the company with the primary responsibility for overseeing the company's investment. Now, this company is incorporated in Cayman Islands and is listed in Hong Kong. The company's most noticeable businesses are: 1, health insurance services. Health insurance is state-controlled business, right? So this company claims to be China's first health insurance information management and health insurance service outsourcing company. That makes it very unique. And the second major business of the company is umbilical cord blood banking. Okay, so this umbilical cord blood of newborn babies is rich in a type of stem cells used in stem cell transplants. So currently there are only 7 umbilical cord blood banks in mainland China. And this Goldwell healthcare company owns it has 3 out of the 7. This company has 3 wholly owned companies, and 1 is partially owned. So it has like owns half of the blood banks. Now, Daniel was appointed as the chairman of the company's compensation committee in 2019, as well as a member of the audit committee and the nomination committee. So think about it. A British businessman with no healthcare background is able to call the shots in a state-controlled healthcare company. That is quite impressive, isn't it? Okay, and there is the 51 World. Okay, remember the 51 Give and then the 51 Sim? Here comes another company called 51 World, which is a company established in 2015 after Xi Jinping already became the CCP leader. Although the founder, chairman, and CEO of 51 World is a young man named Li Yi, who doesn't seem to have an obvious connection with members of the Xi family. But judging from the name, I personally believe that this company is somehow related to Mr. and Mrs. Foa. And this is also because the company that we mentioned earlier, 51 Sim, is a subsidiary of 51 World. So, all these connections makes me wonder if, this is one of the Daniel Foa company he's just not He's not identified as a as an officer of the company. But this company is doing something I think very important for Beijing. This company has nearly 600 people working there. Its website, 500 plus employees in 130 cities. You could take a look at its footprint. It's all over the world. In addition to the Beijing headquarters, the company has a R&D center in Shanghai, an engineering center in Chengdu, and a Shenzhen Innovation Center, as well as branch offices in California, Sydney, Australia, and Tokyo, Japan. Its website is very interesting. So you see the contact us, it's like Australia, China, and Japan. And before I get into the mission, this company's website, the domain name is 51VR, right? Virtual reality, 51vr.com. And what does it do? Well, here we go. It calls itself a world-leading digital twin technology provider. It creates complete, real, and enduring digital twin world, which integrates physical simulation, industrial simulation, AI, cloud computing, to establish a digital twin application ecosystem. It claims to have 1,000 clients worldwide. Now, the company's main research and development goal is, listen to this, is to clone the Earth's 510 million square kilometers through the establishment of a digital twin world. Okay, so its ultimate goal is to recreate the entire world in the digital space virtually. I don't know how you feel, but I don't feel good at all that a company controlled by the Xi Jinping family, or a company, a company controlled by someone who's so close to Xi Jinping, wants to clone the world, wants to have a cloned virtual world. I don't know how its 1,000 clients feel about having a company linked to the CCP leader creating a cloned copy of their company, of their operation, of their establishment. That means this company, this 51 World, has already collected all the vital data of their company. I mean, how would you create a digital clone? Right? You have to have, like it said, using physical assimilation, industrial assimilation, AI, cloud computing, big data, and to recreate that. So you basically let this company to clone yourself, to make another copy of your operation. Why do you want to do that? I don't understand. But to me, that is a frightening thought. Okay. So, but honestly speaking, Daniel Foa's most pressing work for Beijing or for the Xi family, I think, is not a cloned world, because that takes time and that's a very ambitious goal. That's long term, right? That's the ultimate goal. But the immediate need is, I think, find a foreign brand that can compete with Tesla in China, because no Chinese EV brand has been able to compete with Tesla. I did 2 programs in the beginning of the year comparing Tesla to BYD. I still remember doing 2 live streams. I think it was in January. You can check it out. And my conclusion is that BYD cannot compete with Tesla. And Beijing knows that. So Foa has picked a struggling American EV company, Fisker. Am I pronouncing right? Fisker? Fisker. According to this Yicai report, which was dated June 20th, 2013, it says exclusive, another American EV maker plans for China expansion, or plans for China footprint, I should say, with the first delivery center in Shanghai. Okay, so this company is Fisker, and now Foa now sits on the company's Chinese board, right? Or it's China board, whatever you call that, the board of directors in China. In fact, Daniel's connection to this Fisker company began as early as 2021 when he was a senior advisor. He was a senior advisor to the company at the time, and then in 2022, he was named a director of the China Committee. A China Committee, a title that sounds a little bit CCP-ish. CCP has this committee, that committee. But anyways, he was the director of the China Committee of this Fisker company. And at the Fisker's annual shareholder meeting held on June 6th, Foa outlined the company's advantages in China. And this is what he said. He said, the premium and affordable luxury segment is growing faster than general segments, referring to the Chinese market. Fisker fits right in that segment with its unique history, features, and design. He said, China has always had a high acceptance of high quality, traditional international automotive brands. He said Fisker is one of the only two EV-only international companies which are viable alternatives to traditional brands. This will enable us to be on the short list for consumer purchase decisions, but with a more feature-rich product. And he says, as a new international EV brand, this presents a vast opportunity for Fisker in China. Okay, so his speech, or this board meeting or shareholder meeting, was held on the day when Elon Musk was in China. It was held on June 6th, and the day after that, on June 7th, Musk quietly visited his Shanghai Gigafactory. And guess what? Fisker chairman and CEO Henrik Fisker and the company executive team also visited Shanghai. They followed Elon Musk and visited Shanghai shortly after. And they visited the Lingguang Group. Hey, here's the website. What is this? What is this Lingguang Group? Well, this is a state-owned enterprise group with the main business of handling industrial park investment, development, and services. So this is a state-owned organization that handles, like Tesla's investment and construction of its gigafactory in China. The visit by Fisker was notable because Tesla's super factory or gigafactory is located in Lingguang too. And then Daniel made a high-profile appearance in Shanghai and publicly accepted an exclusive interview, claiming that that's the report that I showed you. And he claimed that Fisker EV chose to enter the Chinese market based on the fact that Chinese users have a higher acceptance of international car brands. And he announced that the company plans to open its first delivery center in China this year and started delivering its first production model, the Fisker Ocean SUV, in the first quarter of next year. And the expected production in the first year will be 75,000 EVs. Now, if you really analyze this decision, it feels like it's full of Xi Jinping style confidence. Because first of all, Fisker has no name recognition in China or even around the world. I've never heard of this brand before doing this program, right? I've heard of Lucid And by the way, Lucid also, according to that Chinese media article, Lucid is also planning to enter the Chinese market. The article claims that there's a list of EV makers waiting to enter the Chinese market, and they somehow picked Fisker. So, and first of all, this brand, this American brand, has no name recognition in China or anywhere, and it cannot compete with Tesla, right? Tesla and its owner are world famous. So, how are they going to compete with Tesla? And also, um, Daniel chose to have Fisker to compete with Tesla in the same city, Shanghai. They'll be directly competing in the same city. And secondly, Fisker will also be competing with the many Chinese EV companies. The Chinese EV landscape is already very crowded, like the BYD, NIO, Xiaopeng, right? So what gave the company so much confidence? Perhaps having Xi Jinping's nephew-in-law on board? Um, but okay, so the company has a long-term plan. Daniel has a long-term plan for Fisker in China because in November 2021, Fisker reached a battery supply agreement for its flagship model with the Chinese battery maker Ningde Times. Its English name is CATL, right? CATL. And CATL would supply two different battery packs for Fisker's Ocean SUV from 2023 to 2025, and initially providing more than 5 gigawatt hours of battery capacity per year. At the time when this partnership was announced, Daniel said that the Chinese battery maker, TACL, I mean, CATL, CATL, and Fisker's partnership demonstrates the strategic intent of both companies to take a leadership position in the future. Okay. When people say things in China, you have to read between the lines. You have to read like the implied meaning. I think what Daniel Foa was saying is that um, by by working closely with CATL, Fisker um, has the plan to replace Tesla in the future, right? They want to take the leadership position in the Chinese market. Now, in comparison, Tesla was using the LG batteries, and it was forced to use the Chinese-made batteries in 2020 for its Model 3 only, because Beijing introduced a new policy requiring the pre-subsidy selling price of EV cars to be under 300,000 yuan, or and then certain type of batteries was excluded from receiving the subsidy. So this policy was, people say, was tailor-made to prevent Tesla from getting the subsidy. So in order to keep the price under 300,000 yuan, in order to get the subsidy, Tesla Model 3 stopped using LG batteries and switched to the Chinese brand, CATL. So that's how Tesla is using the Chinese battery. Now, let's talk about the CATL company. This is one of Xi Jinping's favorite Chinese companies. I think there's an emotional connection to the Chinese leader. Its Chinese name is Ningde Shidai, right? It's called Ningde Times. Now, that name is reminiscent of the time that Xi Jinping was in Ningde. Now, this place, the Ningde city, was a poor prefecture level city that produces tea. And Xi Jinping had been the local party secretary in the 1980s. It was the beginning of his political career. So for this reason, this Ningde Shidai, the Ningde Times Company, or CATL, is special to him because of its name and because of where it's headquartered. So So the company from the very beginning received strong support from the CCP since its founding. So from Daniel or Xi Jinping's perspective, by creating a synergy between Fisker and CATL, they're certain that this this synergy can help the company can help the two companies to take a lead in the EV industry and surpass Tesla in China. They know They know that being an American brand, Tesla enjoys a prestige that BYD and NIO and the like don't. And Tesla fills a void in the high-end market in China. And so they must choose a foreign brand that they can control um, to compete with Tesla and eventually replace it. So they picked Fisker. And I don't doubt that Beijing will give Fisker full advantages to break into the Chinese market that Tesla doesn't enjoy at all. So, do I think Fisker will be successful in China? With all that said, do I think Fisker will be successful in China? I don't quite think so. I think it will be an uphill battle. Let's first take a look at its stock performance. Oh, here, by the way, here's the meeting. Here is the meeting between Fisker and this company, the state-owned company that builds industrial parks. This is the meeting they held in Shanghai. Um, so take a look at the stock performance of Fisker. It dropped almost 80% since that June meeting. It was $6 on July. But if you go to June, it's around the same time. It's around the same price. So it dropped like 78% or 80%. And it's like $1.58. So since its announcement of its China expansion, look what happened to their stock. So that's one indication that I don't think the company would do so well. And the second thing is companies like Fisker always make one common mistake, because what makes it so confident of breaking into the Chinese market is Daniel. They think by having Xi Jinping's nephew-in-law sitting on the board of the company that they will certainly have a carte blanche, going to China. And this is the mindset of many Western companies, but they always fail on that. This is, I see that all the time. They think by securing like a key relationship, a strategic relationship in China, and then they can have full access to the Chinese market. They missed one point, because the nature of CCP's politics is CCP politics is prone to internal infighting. They should not underestimate the influence and the power of Xi Jinping's political enemies. But Western companies always neglect this. They underestimate the political infighting, right? So Xi Jinping's political enemies, which have grown so much in the last year or so, would just carelessly disclose something, right, that can ruin their business in China, this American company in China. Like this report by the Center for European Policy Analysis, CEPA. I won't be surprised that some Chinese told the organization, hey, do you know that? I know you are concerned about China's EV, the unfair subsidies, the Chinese EV makers receive from the Chinese from the Chinese government. But do you know that the Xi Jinping family actually it wants to control the EV industry? I mean, it's not even top secret. It's factual because it's all public information, right? Chinese media reported. But why do you think Daniel Foa's capital company, has no information on the website. It only shows its logo. Why do you think he has removed all the information on his company? I'm sure this guy is under a lot of pressure now, in the last couple of days, since at least within the Chinese communities, people are all talking about Xi Jinping's, British nephew-in-law, because because so many CCP officials got into trouble for being associated with the West, and now Xi Jinping has a nephew-in-law who's British, and is trying to control the EV industry of China, and also has his footprint in these RV business or AI business, so I'm sure this guy is under a lot of pressure. Now, when that happens, whenever the CCP's internal infighting gets, to a certain degree, I mean, they're not going to point at each other. One of the signature play of CCP's political infighting is they're not going to fight with each other, but they're going to point at, like companies or family members or subordinates. They'll they'll point at, the fact that Li Shangfu and Qin Gang, right, the defense minister and the foreign minister disappeared. That's actually, I think they are the victims of this political infighting. They're not going to attack Xi Jinping, but they're going to air all the dirty laundries of people he trusts. By the same token, they're going to air all the dirty laundries of his family members who are Westerners, who are doing business in China. So, and when that happens, Xi Jinping is going to back down, and so this American company Fisker will be sacrificed, will be the scapegoat, and will be cast aside. And this is the biggest risk of Western companies doing business in China, because they don't know. You cannot predict or control how the political wind will blow, because the CCP's internal political infighting is like, ugly. It's like two gangsters fighting on the street, and you try to do business between Can you guys hear me now? Can you guys hear me? I have no idea. I lost the internet. Am I back? Can someone let me know if you can see me? Oh, back. All right. Oh my goodness. I have no idea. My internet was completely shut down. Okay, I'm back. Wow. Okay, I was at the end of my presentation. I'm now the internet is back. What happened? I have no idea. So, okay, so just to summarize, so Xi Jinping's niece and her British husband are involved um, in some of CCP's strategic businesses: AI, VR, autonomous driving, EV. So I think Daniel Foa certainly plays an important role in Beijing's endeavor to achieve digital dominance. So hope that's that's my presentation. And let me see. Well, this is. Let me see if people have questions for me. I'm sorry about the internet. I don't know what happened. This has never happened before, but I'm glad that I'm back. Okay, so wow, so we're still here. There's still 300 people here. Excellent. So let me see if people have any questions for me. I'm so happy that that I'm back. All right. Let me see if Sir Humphrey, thanks for part of a live stream. Thank you. We'll complete it now. Okay. Well, that's it. All right. People have any questions? Um, do you have backups of the information? Yes, I do. I have so many links. I'll copy paste the links for you in the description after the show. Um, um, so so Jeff Ramos, thank you. Did you see the Tesla Cybertruck today? No way they will win. Yeah, I saw the news, but I didn't see the car. I saw the news. It finally the electric truck finally came out. That's impressive. So Mitsu, Haley, I knew about Fisker as I saw an ad for them, and I was very impressed at the cost and feature set. Thanks for telling me this, Lei. Oh, you're welcome. I have not heard of them, but okay. Nick Fury. All right, I'm so proud of myself that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Is Daniel Foa akin to powerful imperial eunuch in the CCP seat of power? Is he a white gloves? People say he's playing well. He's not a white glove because white glove. Oh, sorry, white glove is somebody who's not affiliated. White glove is somebody who usually come from a poor family who has very ordinary uh, origin, come from a very ordinary family, and the CCP families pick them and give them opportunity to have them work for them. So these are the people who are not like married into the family. They work for them, but they're not married into families. So in this case, he's married to the daughter, so he is part of the family. Now, is he a eunuch? No, he's not a eunuch because eunuch is a castrated man, so that work in the imperial court as a laborer, right? They do the work because they do need men to work in the court to do heavy lifting and some work, but having so many women, court ladies live in the imperial palace, that's going to be a problem. So that's what a eunuch is. So I don't think he fits in the category of a eunuch. Okay. All right. So Ed C question: do you think the China EV companies will take over the European markets as we hear in the news? Only if the Europeans let them. That's like this question should be asked to the Europeans. Will you let the Chinese EV companies or the Chinese made EV cars take over your market, collecting data, right? From your drivers, from the cars? That's a question we should ask the Europeans, not the Chinese. So I don't think it would be wise of them to let the Chinese EV cars flood the European market. It's up to them. I don't understand why it's so difficult for them to do something about it. So, um, so suggestion, look up the AI robots in mid to early 2000s. They had to turn them off because one wanted to fly around a nuclear missile. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Um, Better be a woman than a eunuch, as at least you can have children. I don't know if anyone wants to be a eunuch. In the ancient times, those who became eunuch eunuchs are usually very poor men. People who came from very poor family who cannot support themselves. So yeah. All right. Does the Chinese Communist from St. Louis the sixth opposed paganism? I'm sorry, I have a hard time pronouncing your name. Does the Chinese Communist Party controlled government work harder than other governments, or are they virtually all of the stats we see made by the Chinese Communist Party falsified? That's a good question. Do they work harder? No, I don't think they work harder, but they can be working harder. But they can work harder, but they work hard in a different way. They may work longer hours. They may be more devoted to their superior. They would do anything. Like on the weekends, they may go do something to please their superior. But the things they do are not productive, right? They're only doing things to make the boss happy. They may work longer hours. Um, Everyone in China works for the party, work for the party officials. Um, so are they productive? No. So what do you mean by work harder? If they work really hard and not do anything, is that considered hardworking? Right? That's the question. Um, okay. So somebody said peekaboo, peekaboo. Lee is lying about Chinese EV taking private info and take over the market. Well, there are many, Googled it. There are many reports. Why do you think the Chinese government banned Tesla in military compounds and government facilities? It's because autonomous drivings, right? They require all these camera. They have to collect data. So it's not just the Chinese EV cars. Tesla does that too. It's required. So I'm not the first person saying that. Okay. So Jason saying, Lei, look into Fisker venture into solid state battery and their complete failure. Yeah, I read about that. This company is struggling. Fisker is struggling. Um, all right. Nick Fury. From New Mexico to Maine, Chinese networks are cashing in on cannabis legalization. Is this CCP operated? Isn't this the new opium war? Um, yeah, I don't know if it's CCP operated, but think about why China is behind, fentanyl crisis. Um, yeah, I'm not surprised. All right. All right, here's hold on. I'm trying to get a question. So here's another question from St. Louis. Six opposed paganism. The only important part of my name is St. Louis or St. Louis, the ninth. Okay, the ninth. Oh yeah, sorry, it is the ninth. Okay, Fury, Fury. Okay, um, the only okay. Let me see. Okay, from Mitsu, why do you think America hasn't banned DJI drones for the same concerns the Chinese EVs present? Good question. Why? I would ask that question to our publicly elected officials. That's a very good question. All right. That seems to be the end of the question. Well, I thank you everyone for staying with me despite the technical difficulties. I don't know why I lost internet. It has never happened. But thank you very much for staying with me until the end. And I'm so glad that I came back. Um, Thank you. And I'll see you this Saturday. I want to talk about the passing of um, what's his name? Henry Kissinger. Sino-US relations. I want to talk about that this Saturday. So please join me. So till then, have a great Thursday night. Have a great Friday, and I'll see you over the weekend. Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Bye.